and I worked the Snowmaggedden in 2011. And it was probably my favorite time here at the OEMC because the level of stuff we got to do was fantastic. I came to work on a Tuesday, I left on Thursday because it was hard to get our relief to come in and replace us. And during that time call where we gave birth to a baby, and the paramedics couldn't get the ambulance to her house, so they parked at the end of the block and came in on a snowmobile and strapped the mom and the baby to the snowmobile to get them to help. So it was a great shift.
So you had a lot of people that were here and they just didn't want to leave. We probably should have made people go home. I think we tried to make people go home, but in most cases everybody wanted to stay, nobody wanted to leave. So of course we here at OEMC have partnerships with Salvation Army and Red Cross. We had set up nice comfortable quarters here at OEMC with cots and blankets and pillows. And we had many people that were cooped up here in the atrium and sleeping in vacant offices for about 72 hours here at OEMC.
Snowmaggeden was something that brought the city together, and especially OEMC as a whole. I know we all worked on different floors, but we all came together for these couple of weeks. It started off like any other day. We received a warning that snow was coming. In Chicago, you know, snow was coming, but this was a lot of snow. And all I know, it was just pouring. So we had to extend operations, reach out to different departments with Salvation Army, Red Cross, to bring cots and blankets to the Greyhound stations and check on homeless shelters, getting heating for seniors. And what took a wild turn for me, I've never seen a thunderstorm during a snowstorm. So that was trying to get used to that. But over the couple of days of working this, OEMC had to go into neighborhoods because some people couldn't get out their blocks to get medications, food, special needs, treatments. So we worked very hard with CPD, CFD to get certain resources to certain areas of Chicago during this time. I remember with my deputy going on Lakeshore Drive doing a car count as good as we could, covered in snow. And I know we counted over 600 cars covered in snow, buses included. Through all that, we worked with Water Department, and we got an insight on what they do, Health Department, CHA. Every person that was affected by this came together, and you had a better idea, and it became a family situation, and I still work with these people to this day. So overall, it was a tragic day, but it brought us together.
So after being on Lakeshore Drive for a couple hours, I was wet. I'm certainly tired, even though I wouldn't have admitted that at the time. And I get a knock on my window, and it was Lieutenant Paul Bauer at the time. And Lieutenant Paul Bauer was a commanding officer for the mounted unit. And he said, "Hey, Richie, what are you doing?" And I said, "Paul, I've just been up on the drive trying to do my part and doing what I can to help people and get everybody out of here." And I would think I was actually stuck in the snow at that point. I was stuck in the snow. And he goes, "Well, come on, we'll spin you out and we'll get you out of here." So Lieutenant Paul Bauer at the time, he eventually became a commander. He was not working, he did not have an assignment. He seen what was going on Lakeshore Drive, and he put his uniform on and came out to Lakeshore Drive just to help. And I think that is what a lot of Chicagoans wanted to do if they could do it. He actually did it.
Yeah, when I think of the blizzard, I think of several days of challenges. At the time I was on the Chicago Fire Department, our day started out taking hold of 50 snowmobiles that came out of nowhere and figuring out how to use them and preparing for a worst case scenario and possibly recalling the entire fire department. To by the end of the day, we ended up leaving the fire department's command post at the fire academy and having to go to OEMC. And the reason why we went to OEMC was we decided that once we made all of our preparations, once we were operationally ready as a fire department, that we needed to come over here where all the action was happening, where the information was, where the coordination was going on. So we knew what was going on with the police department. We knew what was going on with the roads and streets and sanitation. It was very important for us as the command staff of the fire department to move most of our operations over here once we knew that the fire department was ready. And that being said, that was a day we were really proud to be a member of the fire department, because the fire department really did step up. There's a lot of great things that the fire department did, and to be honest, the fire department was actually prepared for worse than what we got. But one thing that talking about the coordination that came out of here was there was a chief, so Chief Mike Callahan was assigned to the north end, and he was assigned to North Lakeshore Drive, and on South Lakeshore Drive was Jeff Springer. And so as we're coordinating with folks, finding out what's going on, we're not getting any information about what's happening on the south side. So we call Jeff, and Jeff tells us it's a mess from 39th Street to 71st Street on South Lakeshore Drive. So the fire department, through coordinating out of the OEMC, is able to mobilize and gets out there and pulls 92 people out of cars and 2 buses which were stranded on South Lakeshore Drive. They were finding police cars stranded in Washington Park. All of this came out of what was going on here at OEMC, and of course out of the fact that earlier in the day the fire department had mobilized snowmobiles, had put sleds on engines and ambulances so they could basically, become sled dog firefighters and pull patients through the snow and get them to ambulances on cleared main streets. It was a day where everyone was prepared for the worst, hoped for the best, but we were able to build on what we had learned in previous incidents before. We were able to apply it here as a group.
Another important item that came out of the after action on the 2011 snowstorm was staffing. You had multiple people, and the way Chicagoans are, everybody wants to stay up and work until the job is done. In this situation, this went on for several days. It's impossible for anybody to stay up for 3 days, even though we tried. Until the job was done. That means until the snow was cleared, until the cars were off of Lakeshore Drive, until we felt that we did everything possible that you could possibly do to save life and property regarding the storm. So one thing that came out of that was staffing. So we now incorporate into all our planning initiatives to ensure that you have a staffing plan. So if I am going to be the one in charge from 2 to 10, who's going to take the place of the person from 10 to 6 and from 6 to 2, and how that's going to work, who's going to be in charge, what their role is going to be. So that is something that OEMC really stresses based out of the 2011 snowstorm.